I just don't think Rex is a good head coach, period. I think that's the reality. I think he's a really good defensive coordinator. And I think he's a bad talent evaluator. I think you could see by their team, some of the selections they made, the free agents. So when you want to be a head coach, you got to be good in the talent evaluation. You got to be good in scheme. You got to be good in all those areas. Offensive football has never been his forte. He's just turned it over. Special teams has never been his forte. So for me, that record, I think that's when we talked about last segment, beating the Patriots, has created an illusion that Rex is a great coach, when I think it's just an illusion.
Ooh, strong stuff. Go ahead.
I agree, because I don't know how long a coach can live off a 09 and a 10 season when he went to back-to-back AFC Championship games. Tom Coughlin couldn't live eternally off of 2 Super Bowl wins, but somehow Rex Ryan, we think of Rex Ryan as this great head coach because he took, Mark Sanchez and the defensive-led football team to the AFC title games. Look, he is a people's coach. He's a player's coach. He's a people's person. The beat writers love him for the very reasons that you mentioned. He will pretend he's Julian Edelman. He will dress up as his brother. His first introductory press conference, what did he say? I'm not here to kiss Bill Belichick's ring. So that got it started.
Yep.
I was on the team in 2000. Rex Ryan was the defensive line coach. The guys loved him. And it wasn't an easy job because you're coaching Tony Siragusa, Sam Adams, you had Rob Burnett, you had Michael McQuarrie. All these guys were veteran players. So to get these guys to the practice field, in and of itself was a job. And Rex could do that. He did a great job of balancing these guys. Okay, guys, if you do this, I'll do that. He'd race with them. He'd push-up challenge with them. He did all these things. The guys love him. But at the end of the day, I'm in the win-loss business, guys. Pro sports is about wins and losses. It's not about sound bites as a head coach. It's not about trying to be funny. It's about, can you put your players in position to win games? And Rex have not done that. He doesn't 110-win season, and he hasn't had a winning season since that 10. So 09 and 10, he went to back-to-back AFC Championship games. And ever since then, not even close to being a good coach.
I am with you guys and then some. I've never seen a coach live off his past longer than Rex has been able to stay afloat as a head coach off the first 2 years with the Jets. And he inherited, I think at the time, the 2 best corners in pro football. Is that fair to say? And Revis and Cromartie. And you mentioned David Harris was on that defense, and Kerry Rhodes. I wasn't a big Kerry Rhodes guy, but who else?
Good.
There was this guy named Jason Taylor on that defense. Remember that guy? Oh, yeah, I know that guy.
One good free agent pickup.
Yeah, that was. He had 5 sacks that year. So my point is, you gave him something to work with. And I'm going to go one step further. I know you're close with Belichick and came out of that culture and organization. There have been times that I thought Rex was capable of doing more with less than Bill was. Like he's in that. It's at least debatable on defensive acumen, just on knowledge, insight, and ability to teach it and coach it. Because I'll bet these guys still love Rex. He is a player's coach.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, I've been close to Dennis Thurman, covered him when he was Dallas Cowboy, and so he's been sort of Rex's right-hand man. But Rex he's still calling that defense. I know Dennis, it's sort of he's the coordinator. Rex coordinates the defense. He's not a good coordinator. He's a great coordinator. He is a chip-off buddy, his father's block.
Right.
And so, to a certain extent, was Rob. But you're right. A great defensive coordinator, especially if you give him the goods, man, he's going to produce. And you got to give him credit. Those first 2 years with Mark Sanchez, that was some great stuff that they did to get to 2 championship games. That was it. You've had 2 winning seasons.
And he's still coaching off those 2 seasons.
I know.
But I think, look, Bill Callahan was on that staff. They had a really good offensive staff, too. They had a good special teams coach in Mike Westhoff, so they could do things.
He was very good.
And there's a lot of this. When I was at the Raiders, I went over to Caltech and we did a study, because when you break down coaching staffs, Al Davis used to think it was all about the players, and to a degree in the 60s were. But as you move forward, it's about the players and the coaching now. And so if you take the 6 positions and you rank those positions, head coach, offensive, defense coordinator, O-line, D-line, and special teams, you take those 6 and you combine how you rank in terms of, Scott Linehan, for example, one of the best offensive coordinators in football, okay? But, the line coach, Frank Pollock. So you add up a total of those numbers, and that gives you a kind of a coaching staff total. Say the total's 70. and say you're playing a team with a coaching staff total of 140. Well, the talent level in the NFL can't make up for the difference in the coaching.
Yep.
And I think that's where Rex was benefited by a really good staff in New York. And that's what we saw. We saw Callahan, one of the best line we're seeing it in Washington. We saw it in Dallas. He's one of the best line coaches, the best run game coordinators in the league. And so therefore he's had success. When you take that away from him, you say, why isn't Rex a good coach? Well, he's really not a head coach.
No.
He's a product of what staff he can put together.